Hi there, this is a piece of audio content that is only available in full over at patreon.com/ElwoodCityLimits. We wanted to give you a little bit of a preview to show you what you might be missing out on. You can join us for as little as $1 under the Pay What You Want model at patreon.com/ElwoodCityLimits and get access to over dozens of hours of content, including every episode of For the Kids, a PBS Kids podcast. We appreciate you listening, whether you're a patron or whether you're listening on the free feed. You're under no obligation to join, and thank you very much for checking out this preview. But if you'd like to know what these episodes and extra content sounds like, here's a little bit of a sneak peek. Why does the bison have hands?
I was weirded out by when they're out in the field. I was like, okay, talking animals. I've seen this before. I'm familiar. Then when they go into like the bison's like study with all the books in the cave, I'm like, okay, who built this? Why is this here? Do they live there? And then like the bison's like walking around.
Yeah, he's walking around upright, like on his hind legs.
Yeah, if I was a God-fearing individual, a bison walking around on its hind legs, I would know that ain't right. That's like the devil's work or something. There's nothing good about that. But yeah, not only is the bison walking on its hind legs, what is the other little creature? It's like a little ferret or something.
There's like a ferret and there's like a cat, kind of.
Yeah, that's also walking on its hind legs. And I don't know, this whole universe of talking animals, I'm still getting accustomed to the rules of the Book of Virtues.
Yeah, and what really, like, it's like, okay, it's a cartoon. Like, I can go along with it. But the bison, in order to like literally pick up the scroll that he's reading from, or to like place a gentle hand on Annie's shoulder, like he's not like, bison have like hooves, like hard hooves, but his hooves are like hands. He has fingers and thumbs that look like hooves, but they're not. And it was really, like, tripping me out whenever he was on screen. He was, like, putting his hand on shoulders, like, ah, no, ew, this shouldn't be happening. So, I'm sorry, I had to bring that up. It was really concerning to me. The guest stars in this episode, the guest voices, we have, unfortunately, 3 RIPs for all of these wonderful voice actors. We have Ed Asner, the great Ed Asner, as Daniel, who, of course, J. Jonah Jameson on the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. He was Cosgrove in Freakazoid. He was on Murphy Brown. He was in Pixar's Up. Wonderful voice actor. Love Ed Asner. We have the late, great Tony Jay as King Darius, a.k.a. Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Megabyte on Reboot. And we also have Renee Auberjonois as Nathaniel, who is Daniel's friend. Rest in peace as well. He was Odo on DS9. So some really stellar voices here. And I just had to say, like, you know, they do a great job with what they have. In fact, I think that one of the big strengths of this show is the voice cast, because even when, let's say, the animation is less than amazing, as I'll get into in a minute, the voice cast really brings it through. And it's almost like, you know what, if you close your eyes at times, it's almost like a really good radio play. And because they're really, you know, Ed Asner, Tony Jay, Renee Auberjonois, just and you know, you have Frank Welker and Jim Cummings doing fill-in voices as well. This is awesome. This is top tier. I will say though, you can't have Tony Jay voice a character that isn't in some way menacing or conniving. So, if you've watched, Reboot, Hunchback, even like the Tom and Jerry cartoon movie, we've got to have money. He's got that deliciously deep voice, and it's so authoritative and menacing. And here it's just like King Darius is just like, my good friend Daniel, and just like, ugh, he sounds like he's up to no good. But he's he does get up to a little bit no good. He's more, Daniel really, he comes around to that idea that everybody should pray to him pretty quickly. Like, yeah. I have this note here that King Daniel's like Vince McMahon, that he like will go along with whoever the last person who talked to him proposes. So it's like Daniel's like got all these ideas. He's like, yeah, Daniel's my main guy. I'm rocking with Daniel. Then those other two guys get in his ear, and it's like, hey, we should make a law where everybody's got to pray to you for 30 days and nobody else. He's like, that's a pretty good idea. And then Mamuken and Habona throw the women's tag titles on King Darius's throne and leave. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's going to do it for now, but we will see you next time on Elwood City Limits or at patreon.com/ElwoodCityLimits if you decide to join us. Thank you very much, and have a great week.